let's talk about the themes for this month. The theme that came up for me a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't even September yet, but I'm still feeling it. It's a reminder for me, and I feel for a lot of us who sometimes forget to just embrace this energy of play and fun and just take things less seriously. Sometimes, especially for adults, we start taking things so very seriously and we forget to enjoy the ordinary little big moments of life in general. And even the spiritual journey, the ascension journey, the 5D ascension, all these things that I talk about, that we talk about, it doesn't have to be that serious, right? We can embrace and allow this energy of play and fun and just have a lighter approach to life. And as you know, the Pleiadians are very playful, and I'm sure they were the ones that just they were the ones that gave me that the question that came up for me. It was as I was laying down in shavasana at the end of my yoga practice. The question that they threw at me was, when did it all become so serious? And then at that time, I felt like I wanted to laugh, but I wanted to cry at the same time, because it just felt like emotional, because I thought of my inner child and at a time when I wasn't taking things so seriously. So the good news is that your inner child is always within you, and you can always just connect with it. So the prompt that I offer is, well, it's not here, but yeah, can you connect with your inner child more often and actually learn from your inner child, and ask him or her, what do you need? What do you need today? And just really reflect in which ways or moments in your life, or even which topics in your life, you're taking things too seriously. And how can you embrace more of this energy of play and fun? And you can be specific and, just write down things that you enjoy doing: dancing, watching your favorite teenage movie, or whatever it is. Maybe you can write a list of these things and go back to it every now and then. And by the way, I will make this available as a PDF inside the community, so that you can, if you want to go back to the questions and journal more, you can. Continuous release and peeling off deeper layers of belief system. So that's a theme that's been coming up for the last couple of months with the Lionsgate and Sirius portal. A lot of purging, a lot of releasing, and even becoming more aware of your limiting beliefs. But what I got the other day was I was being asked to release the belief around the belief, if that makes sense, right? Because sometimes we feel like we have a limiting belief, and then we hold on to that limiting belief. And there's another deeper layer to that, which is letting go of that belief, right? And I guess in a way, the beliefs will renew themselves as we evolve and as we expand our awareness. But I feel like it's a constant releasing and constant peeling off of these layers, right? And because in the last couple of months, especially, we've been shedding, we've been releasing. Now it feels like there's more space in your life, in certain aspects. And space, I just mean a sense of space in your energetic field, really. And it's kind of time to figure out now what goes where, what needs to stay, what needs to go, right? So, and that's a very Virgo energy, of putting things into place and maybe organizing. I have a picture of the puzzles here. So it's almost as if, we've shedded, we've released, we don't have that many pieces anymore, but now we just have to kind of have a broader look at it and see where things go, or even if, do you need to go, do you need to stay? So the prompt that I offer is, in general in your life, and I know this may be like a broad prompt, but just feel it in your heart, what needs to stay, what needs to go. Okay. And that's also a great exercise for you guys who are watching this. As I talk about these themes, just really connect with your intuition, see what resonates with you. Some of these themes might be more, might resonate more with you. Okay. And as you listen to it, as you think about it, you might feel things in your body, some memories, some thoughts might come up. Okay. So just trust that. There is a new pathway never walked before, but at the same time, you're not sure what it is, right? So that actually is in relation to this, right? You release, you peel off the layers, it feels like there's more space, and now you just have the sense that there is a new pathway here for me. Maybe you have an idea of what it is, but you're not really sure yet. So trust the timing of it and ask yourself, is there more clarity that I need in order for me to take the next step forward in this new explored pathway? Okay. And again, that can be related to your career, to your relationships, to your diet, to your ascension journey, right? You know, in your heart. Now, this theme is a very big theme that we can have a whole class on, but it's just something that I've been feeling specifically for this month. Towards the end of the last month, I was already feeling that there's sexual energy, trauma healing, and in relation to manifestation and abundance, right? Because when you think of sexual energy, is very much related to the energy of creation and creating and manifesting, right? And I think there's a lot of healing that needs to take place for a lot of us in terms of the collective, right, around that theme, because it's been so distorted over millennium. So I feel like there is a lot of that, and I feel like it's going to be very unique, and to every one of these themes will be very unique to you, but this one specifically is going to be very unique because we all have very specific, unique journeys around that energy. But the thing to keep in mind is that really that sexual energy within you is very much related to manifestation, abundance, creativity, and very much related to the spirit, the spiritual journey, to the energy of the spirit within you, right? We tend to think that sexual energy is related to the base chakra or the sacral chakra, but it's very much the heart, right? The heart and the crown are very much related to that energy too. And so some prompts that you can use to reflect on is, what is the sexual energy within me asking me to do or to feel, right? To feel. How can I connect with this sacred power of my sexual energy, this power of creation that creates life? Okay. Just by reflecting on this, you are already healing that aspect of yourself. Okay. And you can really develop this communication, ask this energy within you. What do you want? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to move? What are you trying to tell me? Okay. Next one is seeing through the veil, 3D mask. It is getting clearer in relationships in general, but so is people's heart 5D. That may be a little not so clear. But what I feel for a lot of us is that you may start to feel more and more people's hearts. And at the same time, you can really see their ego, that how much they're caught up in their ego mind. And again, I say this without judgment. We've all been there, right? But especially when you're interacting or talking to those that are quote unquote unawakened or unconscious, is just going to be more and more clearer for you how in the illusion they are, how caught up they are in the 3D drama. Okay. And it's almost as if, you can see that they have this 3D mask that's talking, but behind the mask, you can see their essence, right? So that is something that is, I think it empowers you because you can see other people's heart, but we just got to be careful to really see the difference and just realize that person is in their ego right now. And I'm just going to love them. But then again, you can, set your boundaries, be aware of your energy. And I say this because I don't socialize as much as before or as much as most people. And when I do, that's what I feel, right? And I have to like prepare myself. Like I have to charge my battery, just like, you charge your phone before a trip. I have to charge myself. And one thing that I do, and that's the tip for you, the prompt for you is, of course, remember to have compassion towards people, understand that we're one, it's that 5D energy of love. And one thing that helps me is to ask myself, what would love do? And I put Christ consciousness in brackets because I always I think about Yeshua or Jesus because he embodied Christ consciousness, not the Jesus from the Catholic Church, but the being that really embodied love. And I asked myself, what would love do? What would Christ do? Right? And whatever comes to me usually is just to send them love and bless them and listen. Right? This one was very recent, and it came through a vision as well as a voice. So my guide said there's a strong Venus connection. And it's actually very related to the one before that I've just said, which because Venus is the planet of love and romance and relationships. So this energy is already flowing amongst us, and it's the energy of reassessing the way you relate to people, more specifically to the people that you are romantically involved in or interested in, reassessing the way you love, and love in between in quotes, because love here is in the verb sense of love, not love as the state of consciousness, but how you love, how you express that love. Reassessing your boundaries, how you communicate your boundaries as well, reassessing your values and beliefs, because these things, they also evolve with you. The same way that you might be shedding and releasing things and beliefs, then there are new beliefs, there are new values, right? And you become more and more rooted in those beliefs, because that's who you are at a really core level. But it's specifically around relationships and love in that romantic sense. So you can even connect with the energy of Venus, ask for clarity, right? And just tips, prompts for you to reflect on is, what do I most want and value in a relationship? And where do I need clearer boundaries? Boundaries is also a theme that we can have a whole conversation on, but it's super important for you to know, where do you need clearer boundaries? And that's very much related to your values and beliefs and who you are becoming, who you are remembering, right? And also, especially if you're dealing with relationships, all kinds of relationships, but romantic relationship, there is a sense of compromise as well. And so, communicate, compromise, but communicate before, right? Find an arrangement, find an agreement, okay? But be true to your heart, be true to who you are becoming. Don't ignore. You are changing, you are shifting. Sometimes when you are actively pursuing these shifts and these changes and healing, from a linear perspective, you might be on a faster pace than your partner or than your family members, than your friends. Okay. Not easy, but be true to yourself. And again, go back to that previous theme of, having compassion and asking what love would do. This one is a constant theme. I think I'm going to be saying this every month, but just keep nurturing and strengthening your physical body, because there's lots of integration and it can be a lot on the body. I guess, again, it's going to be very different for each one of us, but the main question that you have to ask yourself is, do I need more rest or more strengthening, right? And I think we all have a kind of standard. Like for me, I struggle to listen that I need more rest, because I like to move, I like to do yoga and lift and run. Sometimes I need to do less. And the way that my body tells me is by giving me a little pinch here and there. That happened last week. And so then that's my cue to go, okay, I need to rest a little bit. Okay. And I think a good practice that you can start implementing in your day-to-day life is just to actually communicate with your body. Like, what do you need? Just wake up in the morning, just ask, feel it, and say, what do you need today? This one is more of a message that came through recently about choosing the highest timeline, because it's currently accessible for all of us to just intentionally choose the highest timeline. And we must always tell ourselves that I'm choosing the highest timeline for my highest good, for my evolution, for my growth, and for the highest good of all. But choosing the highest timeline doesn't always mean the best case scenario. Doesn't always mean you're going to jump into the best case scenario. Okay. And it may sound like sad news, but it's not. It's the way I interpret this message is, you can choose your highest timeline, always for your highest good, always for your evolution. But your next highest timeline might be just a stepping stone to that ideal best case scenario that you want. Okay. And sometimes it's not even about what you envision or what you want, but what is best for you as a soul that is on this pathway of evolution. Okay. So just an example, you might say, like, I want to choose the highest timeline when it comes to my I don't know, financial abundance. Okay. So you keep choosing the highest timeline in that aspect for your evolution, for your highest good and the highest good of all. And then the next step, the next highest timeline for you might actually be a challenge, might actually be an obstacle, might actually be the opposite of what you're wanting. But because there's something there for you, like, you need to go through that timeline in order to go to the next one. Okay. So maybe an affirmation for this more than a prompt. I keep choosing the highest timeline, but I keep trusting the process. Okay. It is about choosing, but it's also about trusting that you are where you're meant to be. And then there is also strong elemental energy. There are a lot of things happening in nature, right? Some of the things that are happening are not necessarily Mother Earth's doing, but that's a topic for another conversation. But just in general, there's a lot that we can learn from nature and from the elements, right? So just today, it's been so windy here, and the first thing that you think is just like, wow, it's so windy. It's like you can hear the wind. But then I ask myself, what is this trying to tell me? What is this showing me? Okay. What does the wind mean to me right now, today? Right? Wind felt for me like it was just cleansing, right? Letting go, right? Not resisting. So you can also play with it and learn how to communicate with the elements, right? What's happening maybe in your town, in your, where you are, in your environment, but also in the planet, and also connecting with the elements within you, because we have those elements: the fire, earth, wind, air, water. Okay. And I've been feeling a lot of this when I'm working with people to 101. It's like I can feel how much fire they have or how much lack of fire they have. And it's difficult to say this is what fire means, because it can mean different things for different people at different times, right? So just connect with the elements within you as well. And the last one is, there is a new pathway to the crown, because I had this vision of the crown chakra, and it was almost white, but the pathway was a different pathway. But it really felt like it was related to the heart and the throat. So there might be things in the heart, in the throat, the heart always, but there might be things here that need to unclog, unblock, or be expressed. Okay. So ask yourself, what is wanting to be expressed from the heart? And that's also very much related to the throat.